What up, nerds?
I'm back, hippies.
I'm the Matt.
I'm Waldo.
And we are Face for Wrestling. As you know, we're still cruising along, driving to East Texas and Central Command in a 57 Chevy.
We're about 10 miles out from Centerville.
Yeah. So, we need another video.
Okay.
What's this video going to be about?
I don't know. You're the one who told me we're doing another one.
So we've done our favorite tag teams, we've done our favorite wrestlers, we've done our underrated wrestlers. We didn't really do like our underrated tag teams. Like those tag teams that might not be our favorite are the best. But tag teams that we really dig, that didn't really get the love.
Okay.
Got me? And I'll start it off with an easy one.
Okay.
Headbangers. Huge fan of the Headbangers. Love those guys.
I like the gimmick because it was at the right place and right time.
Yeah.
And surprisingly enough, they knew how to wrestle.
Yeah. It was... The tag team division was stacked during the Attitude Era.
Was it though?
Between factions and other tag teams, yeah.
No. I mean, talent-wise, was it though?
No, I'm just saying though how many there were.
No, I know.
And the fact that they found a way to stand out and still be remembered, they're still going strong on the indies today.
No, that's good. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, like that's kind of tough to do. So like, mad props to the Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher. They definitely impacted my love of wrestling.
Yeah.
Who you got?
A very underrated tag team. You've heard me mention them a couple of times before throughout our Stardom reviews. The Mulkey Brothers.
I thought he was going to go with a Stardom tag team, and he drops the Mulkey Brothers.
Now hear me out. There's a need for the Mulkey Brothers, even in today's wrestling. They went in there and they did wonderful carpentry work. They put a lot of people over. And then randomly out of the blue, through the booking of always having the Mulkeys lose and always seeing the Mulkeys get frustrated and losing, all of a sudden they won. And it was against, I forgot who it was, but it was an established tag team. Was it the Midnight?
I don't remember.
I want to say...
I'm not a Mulkey historian like
anyway,
you are.
It was in NWA. And when they won, that crowd exploded for the Mulkey Brothers. It was the strangest thing. It was a true underdog story, and it was a payoff for two people that went in there and do what they were there to do. And that was build other people up, be the cushion for the kind of the trampoline for others to springboard off of. I can't be mad at that. And then finally one day, they got one of their own. And that was it. You can't really do anything after that. You can't have them win the tag belts, but that one victory got more crowd reaction than somebody winning the championship at Mania. It was just one of those weird, it played out correctly things. Good job, Mulkeys.
Go Mulkeys, sure. So for my next one, and this one didn't last long, so I know why they're not on my greatest of all time list. But for me, young me, it was very impactful. Raven and Canyon, but when he was still Mortis, like he had just lost the Mortis mask, and I think he was maybe coming out as Chris Canyon, and him and Raven teamed up, and like it was like unlike the tag team.
This.
They actually won gold for a very brief period of time. But having been a big fan of Mortis and a big fan of Raven, the fact that they teamed up and worked well together, like that was a big thing for me. I'm a big fan of Raven and Mortis's. Very short-lived, but they did have a title run, if I'm not mistaken, tag team. Plus, give Canyon some love, dude. That dude was an innovator, man.
Oh yeah, too soon.
Yeah. All right, who you got?
One of my top underrated tag teams, Sting and Luger.
One of the top underrated stories of all time.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Another story-driven tag team environment where the face of the complete baby face of Sting tags up with the tweener leaning heel, Lex Luger. And in the middle of a match, Sting will try to keep Luger from cheating. But whenever Sting's back is turned, Luger brings in a stack of dimes and knocks somebody out. Or somehow uses the rope for leverage on a roll-up. Oh, most devastating move in all sports entertainment.
There you go.
But that to me, that's one of the most underrated tag teams because, god dang it, WCW, 6 a.m. and that boy already ain't right, and they screwed that storyline up too.
Well, I think it's that they screwed it up. I think the NWO came out of nowhere and they never got to finish that story.
Right, but if you're booking and you know it's coming,
Yeah.
come on,
That is poor timing.
either finish it up or finish it up before or pause it and do it later.
Yeah. So for my number 3, I'm not going to go too much into this one because there's some controversy tacked on. But I feel like I have to mention them because they were a big part of why I love tag team wrestling.
Okay.
And that would be Dean Malenko and his partner in the Four Horsemen. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah,
You
redacted.
can go look it up if you want.
Redacted.
But they were phenomenal. Like I said, the way it tied into the Four Horsemen storyline going on at the time.
You know, I actually, on a side note here, I actually got to give a tip of the hat to Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
I heard him doing a talk somewhere. This is it just happened to come up in my YouTube feed. He said something that hit the nail very much on the head. You can always admire the wrestling talent of somebody.
Yeah.
Take away the personality
Yeah.
before any of that stuff happened. But if you want to sit there and say that you still support him to this day, even as a wrestler, you're one of the problems.
Yeah. Agreed.
You can never take away what he did in the ring.
That's one thing. I can't take away my memories of that time frame.
Just as you can never take away what he did outside the ring.
Yeah. But that was a big impact on my love of wrestling.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I bring it up. We're not trying to be controversial. And we're leaving it at that.
Yep.
And moving on to your next underrated tag team.
Only because I know we're about to have to wrap this one up pretty quick.
Okay.
And I just like picking on Sting. Sting and Flair.
As a small, very brief window of a tag team.
Which time?
Which betrayal?
Yeah.
Sting did it to himself.
He did. Sting had that coming. I think weren't you over at my place in high school
It's possible.
when the third time it happened?
It's possible.
And I'm sitting there screaming at the TV, Sting had it coming, he's an idiot.
He did it to himself, man.
Sting screwed Sting.
Yeah.
As soon as Flair tagged in, took 3 steps in, turned around, and just started mud stomping on Sting.
Yup.
It was a great storyline because it's something that actually started playing off in, I believe it was 85.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I gotta hand it to them. They did a great job building up I don't trust you, but I have to team up with you.
Yeah.
I just think that doing it a couple of times like that made Sting look like such an idiot.
Agreed.
I might have to. Is there anybody in front of that?
I don't think so. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end the underrated tag teams at 3. And I'm the Matt.
I'm Waldo.
And we've got to get gas. And remember,
Don't forget, everyone is different and everyone is good.